Imagine walking into your workplace and every single person on your team is motivated, engaged, and excited to work. Well, this could be a reality in your workplace too. Since 2017, I've been working with companies who care about their employees, and I've seen firsthand how companies have successfully created a happy workforce and those who have totally missed the mark. Lucky for you, I'm going to share the blueprint that helps companies create an environment that everyone wants to be a part of. Companies that get this right can expect an increase in employee retention, a more motivated workforce, happy employees, and more, ultimately resulting in a better and more profitable company. But here's the real question: why does happiness matter so much? Why should leaders like you care about whether employees are truly happy? Let me take you back to a company I worked with a few years ago. They hired me to deliver a one-off workshop to inspire their employees to take care of their health. But the truth is, after delivering this workshop, I realized that this was just a tick box exercise for the company. There was no real thought behind truly supporting their employees. From the outside looking in, the company seemed to have positives going for them. They were a big brand with big clients, but once I delivered my workshop, I quickly realized something was off. Although people enjoyed the workshop, it appeared nobody wanted to return to work after it was finished. The energy towards work was low, and the passion for their jobs wasn't there. The company seemed to be stuck in a cycle of employee turnover, burnt out employees, and miserable people. The CEO was baffled. "What's going wrong?" he asked. "We pay well, we offer bonuses. Why is morale so low?" The answer was simple. They were missing the human element. Sure, employees were being compensated financially, but they weren't truly happy. They didn't feel valued, engaged, or inspired. Now, after the workshop, many of these employees added me on LinkedIn, and now it appears that none of them still work for this employer. Companies can pay more, offer all the perks they want, and while these things are great, if employees aren't happy, they are more likely to leave. Now, on the flip side, let me tell you about another company I worked with. This company valued their employees and took action to help their employees stay happy and motivated. It was a smaller organization, but every interaction I had with the employees in this company was positive. The atmosphere was incredible. Employees greeted each other with smiles, discussions were lively, and everyone seemed genuinely excited to be there. So what was the difference? Well, this company didn't just focus on numbers. They focused on creating a workplace where everyone feels supported, heard, and most importantly, happy. So why does this matter for your workplace? Employee happiness and purpose can be the invisible engine that drives businesses forward. When employees are happy, everything changes. Productivity doesn't just increase, it skyrockets. Employees don't just do their jobs, they innovate, they collaborate, and they care. They show up every day ready to give their best because they genuinely want to be there. But when companies ignore happiness, things slowly start to unravel. Imagine your workplace as a boat in calm waters. Without happiness, little cracks start to appear in the boat. At first, they seem harmless, but those cracks lead to disengagement, lack of motivation, and burnout. And they eventually grow into something bigger. Productivity plummets, innovation stalls, and company profits decrease. And here's the thing, replacing a disengaged employee costs anywhere between 20 to 200% of their salary, depending on their position. Now multiply that number by the number of employees walking away from your workplace each year. The cost of an unhappy workforce adds up. But when you get this right, when you create a culture of happiness, everything changes. Productivity soars and employees become ambassadors for the company they work for. Employee retention also skyrockets. And the best part, happy employees lead to happy customers. The energy, the enthusiasm, and the passion all become contagious, reaching beyond the walls of your office and directly into the experience your clients and customers have. So if you're still wondering whether employee happiness is critical, the answer is clear. But let's break down exactly how a workplace can create that kind of an environment. One where an employee is not just engaged, but truly happy to come to work. So let's look at 5 elements that contribute to people feeling happy at work. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine an employee who's constantly micromanaged. Every decision is scrutinized, every task is monitored. Over time, that employee loses their drive and their sense of ownership. They're no longer engaged because they don't feel trusted. Now flip that. Imagine employees are given the freedom to take ownership of their work, to make decisions, to be creative without fear of being micromanaged. This is where autonomy comes in, and it can make a huge difference to employee happiness. Autonomy is like oxygen for happiness. Employees who feel trusted to manage their work tend to be more innovative and more invested in the success of the company. They don't just work to meet expectations, they work to exceed them. Studies show that autonomy is directly linked to job satisfaction and employee retention, which means giving employees control isn't just good for morale, it's also good for business. Let's talk about a company I worked with not too long ago. One of the teams in the business was experiencing higher employee turnover in comparison to the other departments in the company. The leaders of this company were scratching their heads. They couldn't figure out why this was happening. And it was extremely strange because it was only happening in one team. I was hired to deliver some wellness workshops for all of the teams. And when I spoke with the employees, there was a clear reason why one of the teams was experiencing a higher turnover in comparison to the other teams. This team didn't feel valued. Not in a way that mattered anyway. They got the odd thank you and paid for pizza during their lunch, but they didn't feel important. The employees in this team didn't feel they were being recognized for their hard work. This led to demoralization, frustration, and ultimately people finding new jobs. And here's the thing, people thrive when they gain recognition for their hard work. It's human nature. When employees feel seen, appreciated, and recognized for their efforts, they light up. They become motivated because they know that their work has meaning and is being noticed. This isn't just about big rewards. Even a small thank you in front of the team can make a big difference. Keeping employees happy involves recognizing them for their efforts. I want you to imagine this. You walk into an office and you immediately feel the energy. People are chatting, collaborating, and there's an undeniable buzz in the air. Everyone seems to be in sync, working towards a shared goal and a shared mission. What's the secret behind this? Or is it just a coincidence that all these employees seem to get along? Well, not quite. I've visited companies where on the surface, everything seems fine. But just beneath the surface, there's tension, competition, and mistrust. Employees might do their jobs, but they don't connect with each other. They don't share ideas freely or feel comfortable bringing their whole selves to work. So what's the difference between these two scenarios? It's something that you can't always see, but you can definitely feel: the culture. Now, a strong, positive culture isn't built overnight. It's crafted with intention. It's about creating an environment where people feel safe, supported, and part of something bigger than themselves, where transparency and trust run deep, and every employee feels like they belong. Let me give you an example of an organization who create an amazing culture, even though salaries are low and so are employee benefits. Now, the loyal subscribers of this channel should know that I'm an ambassador for the King's Trust, formerly known as the Prince's Trust. As well as gaining support from them in the earlier days of my business, I've also been able to work with their teams to deliver a range of employee well-being workshops. And through my work with the King's Trust, I've seen how amazing the culture is throughout the organization. People are kind to each other, supportive, and work together effectively. Employees are not well paid, there aren't many benefits, yet the organization has been able to build a culture that everyone wants to be a part of. And what are the benefits of this culture? Well, employees are happy and go above and beyond in their job roles. Think about the most talented employees in your workplace right now. The ones who consistently go the extra mile, who solve problems creatively, and who seem destined for bigger things. Now, imagine losing them because they feel stuck, stagnant, and unable to grow. I've seen it happen time and time again. Top performers full of potential leaving companies, not because they dislike the work, but because they don't see a future for themselves. And here's the sad part, most companies never see it coming. When employees don't have the opportunity to grow, whether it's through learning new skills, taking on new challenges, or advancing in their careers, they become disengaged. They start looking for other opportunities, and before you know it, they're out the door. So what keeps the best employees loyal, engaged, and excited to stay? It's the chance to grow, to develop, and see a clear path ahead. Companies that invest in employee growth don't just keep their best talent, they help them get better. When employees feel like they're growing, it can help them to stay happy. Now, not all companies have resources and information to help their employees stay happy. And if your workplace want free resources to support their most valuable asset, their people, join the free mailing list. The link's in the description box. And if you found this video useful or interesting so far, do me a favor and press the like button. Thank you very much. Now let's face it, work can be demanding. Deadlines, meetings, responsibilities. But what if there was a way to make employees actually want to come to work every single day instead of feeling like they have to? I want you to imagine this. The employees in your workplace are struggling with burnout. Employees are working long hours, constantly tethered to their desks with little time for anything outside of work. Productivity is dropping, but more importantly, people are becoming disengaged and unhappy. They are there in body, but not in spirit. Employees are struggling to balance work and personal commitments due to the demands of the job. But what if the workplace worked with employees so they could manage all of their responsibilities throughout their day, including their personal life? This is where flexibility can help massively. Giving employees the freedom to adjust their hours, work remotely, and find a better balance between work and life can not only improve productivity, but employees can feel more energized, more connected, and most importantly, happier. Now, creating employee happiness is not easy, but I spoke to an employee who works for the guy who has been able to create the happiest workforce in the UK. To find out how he did it, you need to watch this video right here.